Okay, I just printed off my license for North Carolina, and I can shoot a bear, 2 bucks, 4 does, and 2 turkeys. Maybe I should put another cooler in the truck. Well guys, I got a surprise bonus for you. I am going on a bear hunt that I was not expecting. I got an opportunity to go on a bear hunt in November in one of the places that's always been a bucket list hunt for me. So this opportunity came about to hunt in North Carolina near the Dismal Swamp, coastal Carolina bears, which are some of the biggest bears on the planet when it comes to black bears. And I'm going to be doing a story for Bear Hunting Magazine, and so since I'm going on this trip, I'm going to take all my video stuff and try to get a really good YouTube video out of this. Hopefully kill a nice bear. If I kill one of those 600-pound giants that they have out there, that'd be awesome. But if I kill a nice representative bear, that'd be just fine too. But I'm so excited to be going out there at a time of the year when bears are hibernating here in Minnesota, but the bears out there are still feeding, and they feed pretty much year-round, don't really hibernate like they do here in the upper Midwest. You might think that I would fly to North Carolina since it's 1,500 miles away from home, and that was my original thought. And then I'm like, you know what, I think I'm just going to make a vacation out of this, take my truck and drive all the way out there. It's 1,500 miles, and that way I can take a couple of coolers and I don't have to worry about bear meat and skin and hide and head and stuff like that. And the other thing is that something you probably don't know about me is I'm actually related to Daniel Boone. It's a shirt tail relation. I don't even know, I can't even tell you off the top of my head, but I'm related to Daniel Boone, and I have never gone to the Daniel Boone historic sites, national parks and stuff that are a lot of the Daniel Boone history in that part of the country. The Cumberland Gap has a big historical site and museum there about Daniel Boone. I've never been to it, and that's why I just decided I'm just going to jump in my truck and drive out there, and then I'm going to hit these historic sites on the way back, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. So I've got the time right now. This kind of a hunt, there's multiple ways that they hunt these big bears. With a firearm, it's pretty common to be out at daylight watching the crop fields where these bears are feeding, and then try to get a shot on them when they walk back towards the cover where they bed at night. That's one way. Another way is that they bait them out there, so you can sit over baits. And the third way, is probably the most common way, is they hound hunt them. Now my plan is, and I've talked to the outfitter about this, and my plan is to sit over baits for a couple, 3 days and just kind of see how that goes. And then I always have the option to run the hounds and shoot a bear with the hounds, which is a little more difficult with a bow, because a lot of these bigger bears they can't climb trees. They're too big. So it's a little more difficult with a bow, but I really want to shoot the bear with a bow. And so my plan is to do a combination, I guess you'd say, of bait sitting and the hounds if needed. But anyway, I hope you follow along on this. I can't wait. This is going to be really fun. Thanks for being a part of it.
There's silence in the dark, our fate is whispering. There's a swell in the water. We're not going under, no, no. We got heroes.
Just pulling into a motel here in Richmond, Indiana. So I drove about 12.5 hours today. And according to the GPS, this trip is about 22 hours. So I'll have a little shorter day tomorrow. So I'm over halfway. Get a good night's sleep, and we'll hit the road again in the morning.
We were born for this. born for this.
All right, I arrived. Got here right at dark. Let's go in and look around. I'm the only one here right now. We got guys out in the... We got guys that are out hunting. Here is the cabin, the bear cabin they call it, that I'm staying in. I'm actually up in the loft up there. Kitchen area. Let's go out. I hear a rumor that there is a really big bear out in the shed out here. Let's go out. Okay, so this is the kind of the shop area here where they clean the bears. And that right there is the bear that was shot yesterday. And let me get back here and see if we can get the whole thing in it. That skin is from a 685 pound bear that was shot yesterday. Okay, I do not expect to get one that big, but I would settle for that. First morning here, we've already got dogs treed, and I'm just tagging along. I'm not hunting right away this morning. I'm going to set a bait this afternoon, but we've already got dogs in the woods, and some sounds like one group is treed and one group is bayed over here. So we're off to a good start. We'll see who gets a shot right away this morning.
Won't do no matter, and it might have sent something.
Derek right there,
Yeah.
Back up here.
Coming down. Oh, maybe not that big after all. He's way up there.
Oh, that's a real one.
Is it a sow and a yearling or something?
Must be.
Yeah, I think anybody run back over. Might be going back.
Yeah, he's right here.
Oh yeah, he's up our ass is what he is. Right in the fire.
Get your edge thicker ground here, see if we can go on him a little bit better.
Right there.
I chased him too.
Here it comes!
Yep. One, two, hold on. Got you, I'll lower you.
Well, this is really, really different than anything I'm used to. It's a really kind of a bizarre spot right here where I guess it's just so weird that it's the middle of November and I'm hunting and there's green leaves all around me and it's 60 degrees and there's a bunch of peanuts out here and a whole trailer full of peanuts plus bags and boxes and totes, and there's just peanuts all over the place. And I'm pretty excited about this. We just had a fun day today. It was so chaotic. I'm not even sure where to start, but let me tell you a little bit about it. I've just got settled into the stand here, and hopefully I got a few minutes to talk before the bears show up, but they're telling me it's going to be a complete zoo in here. So we started out right away this morning, put some dogs out by some baits, and it just happened immediately. We had dogs going all kinds of different directions. We had a bear up a tree that we had a sow with 3 yearling cubs, and so some of the dogs took each of the cubs and 2 of the bears went up a tree, and it was just chaos getting back in there. And I mean, I've been in thick cover before, but this is a whole new level of thick. And there are vines that, I mean, it might as well be barbed wire that's strung all over through the woods. It's a whole new level of thick cover where these bears are. And then we had this one bear that wanted to cross the road. It kept coming close to the road and the dogs would come, and then the guys are all honking horns and yelling and hollering and trying to turn this bear back into the section where the hunters are. And the weird thing is that people that own dogs in this area, they just show up, and they can listen on the radio and know where you're hunting, and they all want to train their dogs, and they just all want to be a part of it. And within an hour there's like 6 trucks instead of 2 or 3, and within 2 hours there's 15 trucks and 25 people and 35 dogs. And as you can see, it's just absolute chaos, and people running everywhere, and trucks driving up and down, backwards and forwards, down and up and down the roads, and it's really different. But that's the way they hunt here, and everybody's happy with it, and they like it. And we ended up getting a bear, and then they got a system of getting a bear out of the woods that's really, really cool. They use a cone. So as you can see, they just hook up a pulley to a trailer hitch on one of the roads, and then they use a rope to just pull the bear out, and man, it comes out of the woods in a hurry. The guys can't even keep up to it. So that's how the morning went, and now it's about 2 o'clock, actually 3 o'clock now, and it gets dark about 5:30, so pretty short sit. But there is a lot of bears that are feeding in this spot, so I can afford to be pretty selective according to what they're telling me. So we'll see how it goes. We're just going to settle in here and watch what happens. But there's actually a whole trailer full of peanuts sitting right here. Wow. See that bear or not, but he came in right behind me and just sat there for quite a while just watching him, and I think he might have winded me, but I'm not sure. He was almost right below the stand here, and then he just moved off. He didn't look too spooked, so so he might come in from a different direction. That's my guess. It's a pretty good looking bear. I can't tell if it's big, but it's pretty nice. So it's 4:30 right now, got an hour left. Well, there's our first customer. Not a big one. Acting cautious. That bear was here for a while and then left. I think it was a different bear than the one that was behind me. Earlier, I think the one behind me was a little bit bigger. This one here was like a 150 pounder. Anyway, I've only got about 10-15 minutes of shooting light left. It's getting pretty dark.
Usually around like that ought to scare something out, but that stand be right quiet. The rest of them across the road too. I think he said something's on this side. You got any on this side? I ain't looked at my palm and see if I got any.
You ready to shoot one, Mike?
Huh?
Are you the shooter here?
Yeah, we'll check it out. There's got one treat over here, but I'm not sure if it's a sow and a cub or a big one. We're going to check him out.
Oh yeah.
Fire come out of the dip, strong mud, water across the road. like it's coming here and going on down the road.
Do walkie strike out, see where.
I will turn them loose, let them go down there, Rob.
Sharpen your skinning knife. Well, I'm in a new spot tonight. A spot where they put 3,600 pounds of peanuts out here, and it's almost completely gone. As you saw, we had another crazy day of hunting with hounds this morning, but we only put one sow up a tree, and I decided not to shoot it. We split up into two groups today, and there was just 5 trucks and hounds and people with me, along with Mike, who's from Montana. And Mike is hunting for a really big bear, and we just didn't put a big bear up, or we just didn't get a big bear today. So he's also sitting in a stand tonight. Other 3 guys had to leave today. 2 of the 3 got bears, and then they took the second group. I said we split them up. The second group took a girl and a boy out with the dogs, and the girl shot a 375 pounder, and the young boy is real small. He shot 200 and some pound. That was his first bear. The hound hunting is just, it's a sport. It's really different than the bear hunting that I'm used to, and that most of the people that watch this channel are used to. But it's fun, and I get it. I really understand why people love seeing good dogs work really well, and well-trained dogs do what they do best. And I think a lot of people who are in love with that part of bear hunting don't really understand why I enjoy sitting in a tree stand and listening to the birds chirp and watching the squirrels and other animals, and really just enjoy this kind of bear hunting. There is a pile of bears coming in here, and there's 3 huge bears that are coming in right at dark and after dark. So we're going to find out what happens here. You know, I'm not going to shoot a 150 pounder like I had in front of me last night, but I would probably shoot a 200 to 300 if a really big one doesn't come in. Most of the big ones are nocturnal here, so they can bring dogs in and run those big ones. And in areas like where I hunt in Minnesota and Michigan, Wisconsin, a lot of other areas that don't have hound hunting, you know, like for example where I hunt in Minnesota, you have these great big bears that are 100% nocturnal, and they just become unkillable. Well, that's not the case in areas like this where they have these hounds, because they can run these bears off the baits in the morning and kill those great big ones. So let's settle in here for the afternoon, and we'll see what happens here. This pretty dense cover in here behind me, and then I got a pretty good opening in front of me, a comfortable stand here. So we're going to settle in, and we'll make a decision. When I got a bear in front of me, I'll decide whether or not to shoot it. We'll see what happens. my left across an opening while that bear was here feeding. But that bear down there, I think, was even smaller yet. It's always fun to see bears, but I sure would like to see a really big one come in here. Got a little over half an hour of legal shooting light left. Six minutes of legal shooting light left. The shot looked good. I hope it was. I'm going to review the footage. I'm not hearing a death moan. I don't know if you can see me or not. It's just a couple minutes before the end of legal shooting light. And I had a raccoon sitting out here. I just kind of was watching that raccoon to see if I could get any info from the way it was acting. And it kept staring down this one trail, and pretty soon it stared down the one trail for a little bit longer, and then it just ran and went up a tree. So I got ready, and this bear walked out, and it was clearly bigger than the 200-pounder that was here for quite a while earlier. So I'm gonna be happy with it. I'm disappointed that I didn't hear a death moan, and it ran I would say 75 yards before I heard it stop. I didn't really hear a crash, but I just heard it stop running. So I'm gonna look back at the footage here and see what it looks like and make sure I got a good shot on it, but it felt good.
Blood on that log.
Just open up a little bit.
So we got blood on these bags. Blood bag. Well, here, blood bag.
Right. I'll just stay here. You just whenever you say blood, I'll move up. I think I got blood here. He must have turned, or unless that came off the side of him or something.
No, that's possible. There's blood there. There's blood right there too. A little bit of spurt.
Yeah. And there. Well, it's the morning of day 3, and this is not the way I expected things to go, but we didn't find a bear last night. We went a little ways, found really good blood, and then the blood just stopped. Just dead stop from a good blood trail, and In fact, I was looking up the trees thinking, what the heck, does this bear just get airlifted out of here or climb a tree or what? But so we looked for quite a while, did a little bit of a grid search, came back and looked at the video, and it sure looks like a near perfect shot. But I think we're going to go out this morning after daylight here and maybe put a dog on it or something. I haven't heard yet. They're talking about what to do about it right now. Yeah, it's pretty baffling, but sometimes these bears, it's hard to figure them out. I actually dropped a pin on the last blood and then went back to the bait, and it's 46 yards. So it felt like a lot more than that pushing through the bush, but there's only a 46-yard blood trail, and then it completely quit. So anyway, we're going to head out there and see what happens. And I mean, that bear's got to be dead. You know, I'm kind of hoping they just decide to take a dog and put on it, and hopefully the dog will just run right to it. That's best case scenario. So that's a kind of a crummy feeling, but I got a feeling, you know, hopefully it'll have a good outcome. So they come in and pulled the tape down.
Are they really pulling the tape off the trees? They must have.
This is last blood right here.
Oh, yeah, I had that tied around a tree somewhere. Yeah, it was right here. Right, look, there's a...
They just pulled it off, huh?
Yeah, it must have been, they don't like that.
Yeah, so here...
So the last blood was on this leaf here.
Yeah, and then there was one more drop right here.
There's a little drop on a leaf up there, but that's one. It's cutting.
So what do you...
The trail's going this way.
Well, there he is. I overestimated him by about 100 pounds. That's one of the problems with... That's one of the problems with shooting that last light.
Hey, we got it. Oh, yeah, 10-4 Bernie found him. He went about 200 yards.
There you go. Indian Ella.
Indian Bernie. He's the one that found his own bear.
All right, we found the bear here this morning. He went another 125 yards from where we lost last blood last night. There's a lot of blood where we found him, but there was no blood between here and there. Interestingly, I just saw a really distinct bear trail where you could see where they put their paws. And I thought, I'll just follow this a ways. Followed it about 75 yards, and I looked over and I'm like, there's a really thick patch of stuff right there. I guess if he's looking for a place to lay down, that's where I'd go. And so I walked over and there he was. So one of the issues with shooting a bear at last light is they always look bigger than they actually are. This bear's about a 200-pounder. I thought it was bigger than that, but it's a good representative bear for North Carolina, and it has been a tremendous experience hunting with the Temples. Doug Temple is... he is a cornerstone in bear hunting with hounds, not just on the East Coast, but everywhere, but especially in North Carolina on the East Coast. And his family, Ellis and Wade and Noah, and it's just been a really tremendous experience, and I really highly recommend this. This is not the bear that people come here for, but they got a lot of 500-pound bears. They got 684 pound. They had at least a 684-pound bear, as I showed you earlier. But those bears, they're here, and the bear density in this area is just unreal. The numbers of bears is just pretty incredible, and it's just been a really fun experience, and I'm just really grateful that I had the opportunity to be a part of this. And I'll tell you what, now that I've shot a bear like this and I've seen what's available here, I kind of feel like I might have to come back. So. Once that thing gets moving, they really get cooking. Awesome. Come on, you can do it. I'm out now. Nice
You would have knocked him out.
Well, it's just getting daylight here. I'm going through the Quad Cities at 6:30 in the morning. Stayed in a motel last night in Danville, Illinois, and just woke up about 2:30, tried to go back to sleep, couldn't go back to sleep, so just decided to drive, and so I got up at 3 o'clock and drove again in the middle of the night, which is nice because there's not as much traffic, but now I'm going through the Quad Cities right at rush hour. So I just wanted to debrief a little bit, I guess, mention a couple of things about this hunt. You know, I've never been a real big dog hunt guy, but I really do appreciate seeing really well-trained, well-bred dogs with good handlers who really know what they're doing and watching them do their job, and it's pretty cool. And I was with some of the best. Doug Temple is known throughout the East Coast as one of the best dog breeders, dog handlers, best bear hunters, and he's got a couple of young guys, Rob and Brent, that he's mentored, and they both got tremendous dogs, and they really know how to handle them. And so it was really a pleasure to be a part of that part of it. And I ended up shooting the bear off of a bait, but I could have shot multiple bears over the dogs, just, you know, decided not to. And the other thing is, it's a really tough gig for a bow hunter to get a bow through those thick tangles of briars. I mean, it's unreal how thick it is in places. You pretty much have to experience it to fully understand it. And getting a bow with your arrows and your sight and everything like that pushed through some of that stuff is pretty tough. And then they're not enthusiastic about shooting a bear out of a tree with an arrow because you know, the bear could come down with the arrow in it and end up right where the dogs are tied off or something like that. They don't want the dogs biting at a bear that's got a broadhead sticking out of it. So they're less than enthusiastic about bow hunters, let's just say. So I would say that if you ever want to experience a hunt like this, you just do it. Just do it once. It's really cool. And they have some gigantic bears, as you saw here in North Carolina. They have some absolute giant bears that they get with dogs that you'll never get on a bait because they won't come to a bait during the daylight. And right there by the Dismal Swamp in North Carolina, and then also now, as I mentioned, they're hunting in Maine before the season opens in North Carolina. Both Rob and Doug are going up there to Maine and hunt with OMM Outfitters, which is a really cool place that I've hunted before, and it's just a really neat spot to hunt bears. And Eagle Lake Sporting Camps, it's got to be, I don't know, it's from the late 1800s, I think, is when it was first established there. And there's been people like Teddy Roosevelt stayed in a cabin there, and a lot of Hollywood celebrities from the 30s and 40s, Bing Crosby, I don't know, they named some others. It's an option you might want to consider if you want to do a hunt like this. So I had a fun time at the Cumberland Gap yesterday. It was neat to see the history of the Wilderness Road that Daniel Boone established in the late 1700s. He established it for the migrating white people, of course, that had Indian trails and buffalo trails through it for generations, but he actually readied it for the wagons and so forth. And then I was really excited about going to Boonesboro and seeing the fort and that historical site. Unfortunately, when I got there, it was closed for the winter. And I mean, I Googled it, and the Google said that it's open, and then I got there and it was closed. So unfortunately, it wasn't that far out of my way, but I don't know if I'll just have to plan another trip or whatever. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's kind of different than a lot of the stuff I normally do, and it was a really, really fun hunt. And like I said, I would encourage you to do it if you want. Really cool, unique experience. Thanks a lot for joining me, and we got more good content coming, so stay tuned, and there'll be more videos coming out here over the next few weeks.